bro. I'm ready on you.
Yeah. We back with another episode of Take Me Out This Chat. It's Bucky, Chef Marvin, homie G's.
What's up, man? Thank you for your spot tonight. Your seat, my back feels so much better.
I'm a team
tonight.
player, man. We got the
Appreciate
homie
you.
Blade with us tonight, fellas. What's going on?
My guys.
What's up? Is his Pastor Blade, Barber Blade, or which Blade we get?
Hey, man.
Or you want us to go
same.
Tony? You want us to go Tony?
They all the same guys.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that.
Ain't no difference.
And listen, not to get off topic, but my man next week want to come on. We got to bring a female when he come on because he want to talk that freak Nick. I mean, I know this about to be a powerful episode, but I just letting you know.
Freak Nick.
You know what I mean? Next week's the freak Nick.
Okay.
We gonna, but you know.
Damn, we leaving teasers out there for the folks, huh?
Yeah, a little
Next
bit.
week's freak. What's next week's? What's the date? We
Yeah,
got freak
We're
Nick.
all sponsored by OnlyFans next week.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I mean,
So drop your credit card info at the bottom right there.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
We might have to put that joint on. What's the little? You gotta pay for that joint. Except what they put all the podcasts on.
What is it? It's podcast.
Nah,
Apple
it ain't.
Podcasts.
No, they charging niggas now. They got apps where you gotta pay to be. I forget. We'll come back to it.
I
Go to
don't
the
know
question.
what you talking about, but
Go to the question. We'll go back to it.
yeah. We gonna step
Patreon.
We gonna go back to these
Patreon.
these
Fuck y'all
conversation cards and we gonna kick the episode off with Blade picked this one out, so.
He's gonna throw you, every chance he gets,
He
he's gonna
trying
throw
to
you in
throw
the
niggas under the
bus.
bus.
Every chance he gets, yeah.
But nah,
This wouldn't have been my normal thing, but Blades.
Yeah, this lame ass question ain't on me.
Just in case the feedback
It ain't a lame ass question because it goes into further about what we talked about last week.
I
but,
bet that.
a woman catches her husband in a non-sexual emotional affair. She tells him it's worse than a non-emotional sexual affair. Do you agree? Why or why not?
We start with what,
we
Blade?
start with Blade with that one.
Yeah.
So why not start off real heavy? You know what I'm saying? You said this is going to be a good episode. And to a lot of the watchers out there, like it's no secret that myself personally, as a group of guys, and privy to the chat that I'm not in, but I'm involved in with my homies.
Right.
I myself am going through a divorce, and this question hits heavy on home per what you guys were talking about last week as well, because if I had to get to a place of accountability and say, divorces aren't just one-sided, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things that are heavier than others, but there's two pieces to it. And so myself personally, I think this hits home because if I had to say something that I did wrong, something that was heavy for me, is that, being a public guy, being a public figure, being somebody that's a businessman in the hood, a lot of folks. Yeah. And so what ends up happening is you build relationships. Some of those relationships are not same sex. Some of those relationships are opposite sex. Right. With that comes handshakes, hugs, smiles, and appearances, right? So for me, when I look at this emotional affair that was mentioned, I can say myself personally that there was times where somebody might reach out to me as Pastor Blade. Somebody might reach out to me as, hey, man, you're a businessman in the hood. Like, can I pick your ear real quick? And now they're going through it. They're going through the worst of the worst. And one thing that I had to learn is the respect aspect for my lady is that there's a way to be there and a way to not be all the way there. And that was tough for me to be able to find the balance, because somebody that wants to help, somebody that wants to, be able to aid, and somebody that can educate, somebody that can teach, or even console in tough situations, I lost the balance at times, not in the sense of cheating, but in the sense of what would be considered to be an affair for her, because you're emotionally there for her.
Emotionally there.
She like, yo, why are you giving her that attention? Why are you giving her that energy? Yo, I had a bad day today, and you didn't ask me about my day. And those type of things, man, for me, I understand for her were a little bit tough. Right. And they were important to her. And I think as men, one thing we got to do better at is, babe, if it's important to you, it's important to me.
Right.
Factuals.
Nah, I can agree with that. But what's the bottom part of that question say? Is it wrong, or what's the second part say?
She tells him it's worse than a non-emotional sexual
so is it
affair.
worse? Is it all right?
Do you agree, and why or why
is
not?
Is it worse? No, hell no. I mean, I don't see. What's easier to cut off, a non-sexual or a sexual relationship?
Non-sexual.
So the non-sexual would be. That's not.
You said that's easier to cut off?
Yeah.
Not a sexual.
But it says non-emotional.
The sexual would be easier.
So basically, one situation is you're not engaged in sexual activity with
Right.
the person,
right.
but you have an emotional connection.
Yeah.
And the other one is
That's
she's
friend.
saying
dangerous, bro.
she's saying that's worse than having you just going out and having a one night stand at the
No,
bar.
That's not what the question says. The
But
question,
that's what it- that's
no,
what
no,
it's saying.
but no, that's not what it's saying.
Non-emotional.
A
Yeah,
Because you just
non-emotional
added a
connection.
whole different.
No,
The
sexual.
bar joint adds a whole
All
dynamic to
right,
it.
so we
yeah.
ain't gonna add that. But she's saying then you have an affair with someone that
So
you have
I think the
no
sexual,
emotional
in my
connection.
opinion, I think the sexual would be worse.
Why?
I think there's more emotion there.
There's no emotion.
There's
they
no
said.
emotion.
It's
though.
just sex.
It's just sex.
It's just sex.
Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's possible.
Absolutely.
What
Definitely.
do you think? You think it's what you
100%.
think? You think the emotional connection is worse?
I think 100%. And I'm gonna go on basically what Blade was saying, because and it's not even I would say another person, but like even as a go getter or a person that has drive, sometimes your job could be what you cheat on your lady with. Like, you feel what I'm saying? You put so much drive, so much energy into your career, like irregardless on what the career is, that like she becomes invisible. Like, you feel what I'm saying? And that's where the neglect comes in, and that's where the emotional withdrawal is. And you know, females move a lot on emotion, so when their emotions aren't being tapped into, you feel what I'm saying? They're kind of lost. I don't want to say they're lost, but in a relationship, they're lost. Like,
What's my purpose?
So what's my purpose here? Who is tapping into my emotion? Because as men in that relationship, that is our job. Our job is to connect their emotion with their logic.
Right.
And her job is to connect my logic with my emotion. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if there's a missing piece there, who is she? Like, she's looking at it as, well, who are you getting that emotional understanding from?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Listen, the word worse pertains to it's all bad.
Yeah,
Right.
facts.
She's
It's all
saying
bad. Yeah.
for
I'm
you
just
to
trying to
have
figure out what's
a
worse, right.
sexual, emotional John is like, nah, you was just bombing and you like her and y'all got a vibe and y'all friends. Whoa.
So I'm
ahead.
so I'm gonna definitely agree with this card because, like I told you, it's all
What
about
a difference a week makes.
it's all about the mental. When I told you that, and like I know, like I told you, in instances, I've made mental connections with ladies, and to be honest with you, like I ain't even hit.
Right.
Shorty like me more than the nigga that's fucking her.
That's how it goes.
That's dangerous. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Them emotional connections.
Like
dangerous.
niggas be thinking that sex holds.
Nah.
Niggas think sex. They overvalue the weight that sex holds within women,
Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
because a shorty could be giving you the draws, dog, but you have no emotional connection or no mental connection with her, no
Facts.
mental stimulation or emotional stimulation.
Yeah.
And she could be not fucking this dude, but
You got mental.
he's
connection.
connecting with her on that vibe lane. I guarantee you 10 out of 10 times when it comes down to it, she get more excited about the nigga that got the emotional or mental connection.
Absolutely,
than
because
she
at that
do
point they're only
that the
seeing
nigga that's just
themselves
slinging
as
dick.
as like a meat pie.
You understand what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Because when
I get
if
what
you
you're
just
saying.
slinging dick with no emotional connection, like
I just don't know which one's worse, bro. Like it's hard to. It's really hard to put a point on what's worse.
the emotional connection is worse.
Yeah.
Because once there's an emotional connection, it's only
So
so,
if you
long
a man-
before
so if-
it's only so long before it turns into the sexual.
Something.
Right,
and then when it
right,
turns
right,
into the
right,
sexual,
right,
now we're
right,
talking
right,
about motherfuckers talking about leaving their wives,
And loving.
leaving their husbands,
Facts.
leaving their families,
Facts.
ready to start a whole new situation because
Emotional
of that
connection,
emotional
yeah.
connection.
But see-
That's
but
why
see-
that is way more dangerous.
Bring it on back home though, right? And this is where the problem was with my situation per se, is there was no respect on the fact that I could control that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what made me a different type of bull, is that like while I could have that connection with you in that regard as far as friends, I didn't have to take it to that level. But the perception thereof was like, she gotta be giving you the draws, like you gotta be taking it down. And it's
That's
like,
what I'm
no.
saying. What if you're not? That's why I don't understand like
But it
what's
says
worse.
sexual, though.
Because what if you're not taking it to that?
But it
level?
says sexual,
Right,
though.
right.
So
What if you're
pertaining
not?
to the question, it was
Right,
ju-
right,
it was you're having sex and you got
Now I got a question off of this though. So
So you was hitting all the Jones?
Come on.
listen.
Could it go down? Could it go down?
I mean, he said you
So
get a
It's what
divorce.
my man
So
said.
I'm,
Could it have gone
asking
down?
you this: are you wrong for giving another female or connecting with another female?
So now you was talking
Are
earlier.
you wrong for that?
You were talking earlier in regards to slight little off air conversation about cheating, and so the baseline is that is pertaining to the rules in which y'all engaged in. What did your lady say from the rip? What did you say to the rip from her? So let's take it to a small, subtle, little quick John. You and your lady both blow weed, and you make it a rule that you never go grab no weed from no dude, and she go do that. That's cheating.
Okay.
But now, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the rules of certain things like this, she set a rule that y'all don't want you giving no shorty no energy like that.
Right.
It becomes cheating.
It's crazy you bring this up because I don't really think I don't want to say a percentage, but for me, in my experience, I don't think a lot of people are really checking shit and setting
Boundaries.
boundaries.
It's the issue.
I don't think they're clear set boundaries within most people's relationships.
I think
So it's like
people
even in
don't
my
know
relationship,
how to go about going about setting those
I think we
boundaries. That's probably why.
assume like we know this is a bad thing,
Yeah.
and we know this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
But something that we would never speak about as far as emotional connections and just so many other various things where no one checked that and set those boundaries for respect me. If you respect me in our partnership, our relationship, I ask that you don't do this or you don't do this. Like, I think that's going to be important for people moving, even if you haven't set the boundaries in your relationship, but you got a good relationship, begin to set boundaries.
But what happens, the thing is, though, you can set those boundaries, but what are you going to do if somebody violates them? That's the thing. That's where people lose their leverage on their boundaries. They're like, I don't want you doing this, and then you do it. But then they just accept it.
I think a lot of times that comes to you
sometimes
gotta have
willing-
non-negotiables. Like
Yeah,
some
you have
certain
deal breakers like,
certain
oh, I'll
boundaries
walk
have a
away. I'm willing to walk
non-negotiable.
away from the situation.
Yeah.
If you're not operating on the same level that we talked about and we discussed, we agreed upon, then
Right.
people lack that ability to walk away. That's why they ain't able to set them boundaries, bro.
Well, I think a lot of it comes from contradictions too, right? So a person to try to set boundaries that they themselves are okay doing.
Right.
So, like,
Well, that's
again,
those people
giving
that
up
want to
a-
have their cake and eat it too, though.
we talked.
Giving up a-
I talked about this
giving
earlier.
up a game. Somebody said to me, and I'm gonna say somebody, but it was my past. Hey, I want to go do this, but I don't want you doing that or thinking that it's okay that you can do that. Well, hold that's not.
That's
how this
most
is gonna
people,
work.
though. That's most relationships. If you found out your spouse was doing certain things, you wouldn't be feeling it, and even the things that you're doing, you don't want them doing.
Let's be real. There's a lot of things that we
That's men.
all done as men that we're like,
If my lady
but
did
that's
this,
unacceptable for your lady
facts,
to do.
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
It would be a non-negotiable for me. Like, and I'm gonna be completely honest. There's things that I've done in my past with my wife that if she were to do it on the other foot, it would be a non-negotiable.
Yeah, but you had to grow to that because there
Yeah,
was a point where
absolutely.
when these brothers get to saying that like, oh, us brothers is fraud and this and that.
Yeah.
There was a moment where dudes was fraud and that you evolved into this man that
Yeah,
says,
for
you know
sure.
what, I gotta have integrity enough in me to say, you know what, I don't want her doing that, so I'm gonna let it be what it is. But
Absolutely.
that's growth, man. That's growth, and I like it. I like it.
But so we can all agree when we say an emotional, we're talking about not emotional but a mental connection also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sexual emotional is worse than regular sexual.
Oh,
Hell
it's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
sexual and no,
No.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
sexually
sexual-
emotional.
No, it says non-sexual emotional
That's what I said. You're not hitting.
or non-emotional sexual.
My bad. Yeah, same deal. Yeah,
I
I
still-
agree that
I'll be
emotional.
So my
honest, I
thing is,
still
my
feel
thing
the
is
same.
this though. No, I don't, because if I got a lady, I would rather you be in a like emotional with this nigga than just having sex with somebody. Oh, you just talk on the phone with boy, you just vent the boy. Oh yeah, I mean, I could get mad, but he ain't you ain't getting tellies and getting busted down.
But that's why the question pertains to a woman's point of view, because for them, that matters worse.
Yeah.
For
For
us,
a
we're
woman,
like,
yeah.
we're like, you know what I mean? Well, y'all
We're
just
more the
cool.
physical. We're
More physical.
You ain't let
I'm
his
like,
mom,
oh,
did
I
you?
don't know
That'd
what's
be more-
worse.
more
Did he
emotional.
bomb? Oh, then we good.
Right?
That's all
Oh, y'all just on the phone? So I said, y'all just on the phone?
Because a lot of times, let's be real. Like when we're dealing with females, we will strike mentally in their minds, but it's ultimately so we can have our way physically with them.
But this
you understand what I'm saying?
No, that's
Right.
100%, and that's why I go back to what we were talking about before we got on air. Like that would be a non-negotiable, bro.
The rules of engagement.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable. Like you're not setting clear boundaries at that point. Now shit becomes gray because it's only a phone call, it's only a text, it's only 12 o'clock at night. It's only 3 in the morning. Like shit starts
just
getting
gray.
gray.
She ain't,
And I just
she
feel
ain't
shit
leaving.
starts getting
She
gray,
ain't
though.
coming home at 12 o'clock at night.
I just feel like, period. I feel like
She might, but they didn't have sex. They didn't have sex. They just were talking.
Compared to the question,
They might have went out to Rita's.
She might be no. We're not
Busted
hypothetical.
it
Hold on.
up.
Her
We not
favorite?
But they didn't
hypothetically-
have sex.
Was it her favorite?
They didn't have sex.
Was it the misto that she liked?
So hold on. So you would be
Mango?
you be mad. You be madder if she went to Rita's and got her gelati over going and getting her gelati split
No,
at
I would
Motel
be-
6.
You would be mad that he knew that and that
No,
he
the
remembered
difference
that.
would be the only
That's where it goes.
So what would you mad? What would you be more madder
You
at?
understand what I'm saying, Chef? Now he
What would you?
remembers
The
and
question
knows.
is, what would you be more
I'm not
madder
gonna
at?
lie. I mean, when you really
I'm
think
more mad
about it,
about the
you're
emotional
more,
connection,
you're more
bro.
madder about the emotional connection because 9 times out of 10, your woman is thinking about this man.
Little things.
If your bitch go to
Those
Mandingo
small
Bay, nigga,
things.
you don't give a fuck about that. Let's be real.
Yeah.
If a
Niggas don't give
nigga, if
fuck
a
about
nigga
that.
strikes an emotional
Bro,
connection with
so
your
if
bro,
your shorty's leaving
she's
for Rita's versus
she's
leaving
out
for
with
some
dinner
dick,
with you.
It's done.
She's getting slapped
don't
from
know she's
you,
leaving-
and she's thinking about the small things that this other man is tending to her.
But you're laughing.
It's
Hold on,
over, dog.
hold on.
You don't know she
So
going to
your
get
shorty
slitted,
leaving
dog.
for Rita's versus leaving for some dick.
I'm gonna be honest. We're too physical, bro. It's the emotion.
the emotion.
That's what builds longevity, bro. Is the fact that you was emotionally connected to the joint. That's where affairs be. Affairs be on that tip. Because the physical is Mark as a provider. The physical is Mark as a handyman. He can fix things in the crib. The physical is, I need him to make sure that he's on schedule to pick the kids up at 3 p.m. But the emotion is, man, when he just puts his fingers through my hair and strokes my back and the way he says my nickname that he
But hold on,
created.
you're adding so much to the question. It's
all emotion.
That's it.
it's non-sexual.
That's not
That's not
emotional. We
sexual.
ain't in
telling
pound.
you.
Here is he rubbing your back and going through your
He
head.
ain't even pound.
Listen,
Ain't pound.
the emotional. Listen, the emotional. The emotional connection is more of a threat to your relationship than the non-emotional
Absolutely.
sexual affair.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Because at the end of the day, like,
Especially if he's a game spitter.
Bro.
If he's a game spitter, like
I'm just
come
telling
on,
you,
It don't even
man.
gotta be that. Just intellectual.
I'm just trying to figure out what's worse. Like that's a great question. It's a great question, man.
And I think this is a question of the week for the.
They
for the,
both
for the,
worse though.
That's what I'm saying,
When you
like-
find out that she's going to the massage spot and money, Mr. Massage.
touch
It might not have been a mental connection, but he in there splitting her down
I'ma keep
every
it a
Wednesday
buck, bro. I'ma
appointment.
keep it a buck. It literally is the emotion.
It's the
bro.
emotion, yeah.
Once she starts telling them family secrets
Yeah,
and
yeah.
oh man, this boy don't do
He
this.
gonna
and
be
he don't
around
do
for a
that.
while.
Yo,
That's
chill.
basically coming down to he gonna be
Yo,
around for a
chill,
while.
chill.
He gonna be
You understand what I'm
around
saying?
for a
Yo,
while.
chill.
Once them pillow
Look,
talking
look,
start
look,
taking
look.
place, once that pillow talking start taking place, and this nigga, you know what I mean, he don't do this, he don't do that. Yo.
Oh yeah, he gonna be around for a while.
That'll hurt a nigga heart.
That's
Let's be
emotional.
real. You would be fucked up
and
if you read the text thread and in that text thread, oh my
Yeah.
god, nigga, what?
Emotional.
But you're gonna be fucked up if you read that text there like, yeah, I'll meet you at Motel 6 at 7. You're gonna be just as fucked up.
No.
Bro, you going, come on, man.
I might be at
It cuts a
Motel
little
6.
deeper
You
on
gonna
the
be
emotional
just as
side.
And
it depends.
And
It's circumstantial.
emotionally, she's gonna be doing more.
Right.
She's gonna be doing the nasty things that you weren't able to
Oh,
get her
it's
to
a
do.
non-sexual.
But let's be real.
But we're
use
talking
it-
about future though. We're
It's
talking
going
about
to
future.
turn
Oh,
to
we did.
sexual.
But even before it becomes sexual, just think about when niggas was dating or talking to females. Like before you start splitting them, nigga, you know the game, nigga. You get in their head before you get in their bed.
But listen,
like, let's
to your
be
point,
real.
Buck, to your point. So take the non-sexual, take the sexual out, right? They're gonna be doing things that you've been wanting them to do.
Right.
Babe, I want you to come bring me this. Babe, I need you to do that.
Right,
Babe, can you
right,
give me
right.
to do this?
It is different.
best
Do
foot
your
forward.
laundry,
Best foot
bring you some
forward.
food, all
Yeah.
types of shit.
Everything you needed her to do, she's doing now
I
because
ain't
she's
gonna lie,
emotionally
be
tied in.
mad, be mad as shit if
Why
Bobby
you
got
shit-
if Bobby got lunch.
Why you shaking your
Why
head?
you got lunch?
He
nigga?
got PS6.
Hey, that nigga got lunch.
Look at
Fuck that nigga doing with lunch.
Why you shaking your head though, my boy?
That shit look. You alright?
Yeah, he just went in the straight
think
quiet
he all right. I
mode.
don't
He
think
ain't
he all
all
right
right.
over there.
What's
What's wrong
next,
with
Chef?
you,
What's
dog?
next? What's next,
Let's switch
man?
topics, man. From we lose my man.
Nah, we lost him already. We gotta bring him back.
Yeah, bring
What's
him
the
back,
deal,
man.
my
What's
boy?
up, my boy? You good?
I'll talk more about it off air.
Off air.
All right, we'll go to the next topic. Let's jump.
We not
jumping to?
We not getting Chef Spice tonight.
Yeah, we will, but not
No,
not
Chef
on
want to
this.
I got
want to
you.
be a reporter. That's what it is. He want to ask direct questions.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah, you had some more
I ain't
questions.
mad at you. Everything ain't for everybody. I got you. But what was the next one? What were we going into colorism or
Yeah,
how do you want to do
yeah.
that?
Let's go right into colorism.
All right.
Go ahead, Blade. This is something we talked about for weeks.
Yeah,
on
I'm gonna let Blade
Barbershop.
take the handle on this.
One of the most provocative, crazy conversations that have been taking place in the barbershop and just circle and peers in general is which already I'm gonna open it up like this. Black folk ain't even a thing. Let's go there. But can black folk be racist?
Who want to go for? I don't.
I'm gonna let you go first.
No.
So it's gonna be a bunch of ganging up on me. Do y'all want me to go ahead and get my argument?
Get your shots off, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Because I already know I'm in the disagreement place.
we
and that's
talked.
cool.
Go ahead,
You know what
get
I'm
your
saying?
shot.
I mean, I think first we should define racism
That's a good question, Chef. I like that.
because
like
I
your
don't think
direction.
I think everybody's definition of racism isn't always technically correct.
Right.
All
So
right,
so
so
based on what Mark. Oh,
So-
go ahead.
No,
You got to
whoa,
read
whoa,
the exact
whoa,
joint.
Whoa.
I'm about to get it.
What my
No,
name?
'cause
How
I
my
didn't know
name?
you was going. I didn't know you was
how my
going to read
name
it. I thought
getting
you
this?
had. I was going to go with what you read.
Yeah,
All
Buck, give us the technical definition of racism.
Discrimination by an individual or community or institution against a person or people bias of their membership to a particular racial or ethnic group. Typically one minority against the majority.
Amen. Amen. So real quick to give my
hold
thought
on.
process. Go ahead.
One that is a minority or marginalized.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So first off, and I love the fact that this definition went in that direction. Y'all are familiar with the fact and the known fact that blacks are not the minority worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
We do know that, correct? That is a fact.
Well,
Blacks outnumber Caucasians.
So before we even start diving in, are we going Western civilization or are we going global?
So and that's where the discussion comes from. It
Before we
goes
even
America.
go any further.
It goes just America, right?
Yes.
So even in that regard, right?
Right.
We have to recognize that black, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black is already not a thing.
Right.
We go there, we get that nipped in the bud. Black was a colorism idea that when you go back to first off and listen, you're talking to a guy who learned from one of my number one figures in my life, Tone Betts Sr. Tone Betts Sr. opened up a piece of literature that we all need to open up called Black Laws Dictionary. Every lawyer that has to go ahead and pass his, y'all get what I'm saying, has to go ahead and read this piece of literature. Black, in its inception, was actually a word and piece of verbiage that was actually the Caucasians. But most of us don't know that. But what it ended up creating in our society today, in America as well, was a colorism thing based on status and living status in our America. So now we went ahead and we accepted the word and we said, yo, I'm black and I'm proud, which initially meant something negative.
Yeah.
It initially meant something negative that we went ahead and adopted and said, I'm black and I'm proud. Just like we like chicken wings, just like we like chitlins, just like we like all the degraded foods. But you get what I'm saying. The baseline is that we went ahead and we accepted the scraps that we were given and the names that we were given.
Okay.
So now when it pertains to black, we look at that as the broad scheme of things. I go to, can black people be racist? The definition read a community and a certain group of people, right?
That are marginalized.
Right? That they may do things from a place of power.
Yeah.
So to say that black people cannot be racist would be to say that we have no power in America, and that is false. Now, here's the other reason why I give you a fact. We fluctuate from number 1 to 5 consistently in the world's buying power, even a fallacy word, the black race. So coming from the number 1 through 5 most powerful people, meaning our black American dollar holds power. You cannot tell me that we don't have power to be racist. If we went ahead and we decided, just like another fact base, to boycott a bus, That bus would go down. If we decided that, yo, we're not going to go ahead and support this diner, just like facts, that diner would shut down. My point is that, yo, our buying power is so powerful that if we decided to go ahead and boycott, not buy, not use, we go ahead and we eliminate. And we would do that from, this is our real crazy piece of the argument, from a racist view. Not in the negative, though, but from a superiority place of our black folk getting in precedence.
Well, so this is why black people, they can be racist, but we are not racist, is because if we're quoting black on black, just like you said, we're not unified.
To a degree, because there's a lot of unification happening right now. And it is separate.
There are unifications, but overall, as a whole, whatever you want to define as black people, we are not unified.
Yeah, but white folk aren't either.
Absolutely.
They team up with other races.
Don't make it like a versus though. Let him.
My bad. Go ahead.
Let him.
Go ahead.
We're not unified, dog.
Right.
We're not unified. Black people ain't unified. Now, I know you're gonna go further into colorism,
Right.
but like what y'all been talking about at the shop, how many different people from different cultures, but don't realize that they're black.
Yes.
Don't identify as black.
Yes, that's what me and Buck were just talking about. You're right.
So Mexicans, you said, are technically black. Afro-Latino, black. Native Americans.
Before you keep going,
Black.
before you go, this might be off topic. We all been to Mexico. Mexicans aren't Hispanic. They're Aztecans. So they're natives. I don't know if, I'm not trying to make an argument or none of that, but being down there and being amongst the people, they're not Hispanic.
Right.
They speak the dialect, but you can clearly see that there's a difference between what you would consider Hispanic from Central America, deeper than Mexico,
right,
than what you would consider an Aztecan from Mexico.
Yeah.
So
like, you know what I'm saying? So that's that. I didn't want to cut you off,
I think
but
before we go any
that's
further,
a little.
so I know you went into a definition of black, but the black that we're talking about, we're talking about, what is it? The original tribes of the native lands,
Right.
We're the original 12 tribes of.
and would we consider that black?
I think we consider black the people of missing culture.
What do we
Here we go. Let's go here. Now I told y'all that there's no differences in blade. So
Right.
the pastoral side of it, right?
Yeah.
The Bible says that my people will be many different shades and colors.
Absolutely.
And I'm just giving you a translated version.
Gotcha.
And what we have done is and this is why I brought that out, we've allowed ourselves as a people to consistently take on that black label to where, like, for real, we're more colorists than a lot of people. Like, that's why we go ham on the light skin versus black, dark skin jokes. But we like a lot of dark skinned brothers are not gonna honor me as being black. I remember there were times when me and my best friend would play around when Barack Obama was in office. He said, "What you happy for?" you know what I'm saying? But deep down inside, right? Deep down inside, it gets real. It's a serious thing,
Right?
Because our colorism does not come from the white man right away. It's the fact that it comes from them.
It does.
But I'm saying where it starts is in your personal head.
It
Every
doesn't.
day you get a chance to wake up and say, you know what? Damn, I did just read that. And that does change everything for me. You know what? I'm not going to adhere to that no more. So when I say that, while the white man may have put an inception in there,
Absolutely,
you got a chance to wake up tomorrow and say, you know what? That conversation we was having changes everything. Benji in the barbershop is my brother. Wow. There's a lot of depth to it.
So I spoke to you that day in the shop. I was around for that conversation, right?
Right.
And you already know how I feel. I felt like the term you were using was incorrect. I felt like classifying black people as racist was incorrect. And I specifically asked you to just find a better word for it, which I chose prejudice.
Absolutely.
And I feel like there is a difference, and I found a difference. It says, all right, so, and we're quoting because this is deep. We went deep that
Yeah,
day.
nah,
It
It's
says,
good stuff. It's good stuff.
It says, I think prejudice is a matter of feeling. It is a hostile and dismissive attitude of feeling towards people we find different from ourselves in some way that we take as significant. But racism is more than that. Racism is a whole feeling and tries to make the case for differences that we find innate, permanent, and for the basis for action and the basis for discrimination, and even for an institution that will tends to turn a kind of inequality and hierarchy based on these ideas. So it's like racism is deeper than prejudice because of the systematic and the institutions that are backed by racism. That's why I simply said, do black people have the power to be racist? In a sense, yes, because if you just ask that question, everybody has the power, yes. However, black people aren't racist because we typically don't approach, like, are we prejudiced? Yes. And I might see somebody like, yeah. Oh, but am I racist? No, because I don't have the power, the institution, the hierarchy behind my beliefs to change your life based off of what I believe. Right. That my skin color is
on
more
a scale.
dominant than
On a
yours.
scale, you can though. On a scale,
That was my only argument.
Minimal.
That was
very,
but only on a scale.
But if you and when scales are designed to what? Compare.
Yeah, right.
If you were to compare the scales,
But it exists.
but
this is what I was telling Blade.
The scales
this is what I was telling
even
you.
Close.
No, but even with that scale, this is what I was telling Blade at the shop. Even with that being said, because we went into the drill team or whatever the case may be, all black cheerleaders. White girl wanted to join the cheerlead squad. The powers that be are going to let that white girl on that team. You know what I'm saying?
Depending, and that's where our argument. We went into that debate.
This is where scales come in, because on the scale, as us being the cheer team, us being all black, where we can shun her with our prejudices, but if she really felt some type of way, there's levels above us that's going to allow her on that team
To a degree.
Now, there's going to be prime example, integration as far as sports go.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? It was whole teams that weren't even allowing black people to play in their stadiums.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But the powers that be, when it came to L.A. and the L.A. Rams, the powers that be told teams that if they're not integrating, they're not allowed to play. So now money gets involved. You feel what I'm saying? The power gets involved. Now that the power's involved, now we have integrated sports.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Powers that be got to get involved.
You're wrong on that aspect.
Of what?
Because why do you think someone pushed for integration to allow blacks to play white sports? Just to be nice, just to say
no, for equality purposes, bro.
No.
Power came in.
Power.
Black power came in.
Power.
Jay-Z got money.
Listen. Like Dr. Claude Anderson said all the time, the worst things we did was go join the Major League Baseball.
Bro, I think this is two different topics.
No, it's not, because like he said, when we had our own leagues, Negro leagues, and things of our own that were black powered, black united, you understand what I'm saying? You give up all your power, you own ownership, and you have your own shit to go be happy just to play next to the white man and to be able to entertain the white man.
I don't look at this topic to be about that, because that's going back on the errors that we made. That does not ignore the fact that there's racism. So think about this. Think about the hierarchy. Because the definition.
Because it was designed to integrate us, to make us feel as if we were equal, but we were also giving up leverage and power as far as what we were building and our unification.
So think about this,
and that stems back to what Blade originally said, to where
go to Black Wall Street.
If we were,
hold on, I got you.
If we were,
that makes the point.
Hold on.
Think about a power.
Talk about the hierarchies. The hierarchy we talk about. The hierarchy, the control. Think about the NFL and the Rooney Rule. Just think about the Rooney Rule in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And the hierarchies of control and power that they had to make a fucking rule just to go out and interview
how many black owners are there?
Come on,
that's the issue. In a league that we don't own. In a league that
we're not going to go on to making a big three and creating our own league. We're talking about, can black people be racist? and we're backing our ideas up, not about what we made our errors on, and by joining this group and that group. No, that's not the fucking topic. The topic is not. The topic is, can black people be racist? Yes. Should we have joined the major leagues and had our own league? No. That doesn't mean that black people can't. Like, no, that don't mean we can be racist.
We can be racist for the point you just said.
That's the argument.
The whole thing is they're being racist because white owners own the NFL, so therefore hiring up in the higher positions is less minorities or blacks being hired because people are going to hire who they fuck with in certain positions.
Me and Mark's original argument
for us to be racist is, instead of fuck their league, let's start our own shit. It may not have the same bagging, but if we're going to be racist, we're going to say fuck y'all league.
That's for our benefit.
For our benefit, and it's going to come to the non-benefit of who?
Them.
How many millions of dollars would they lose? Billions of dollars would they lose if we stop supporting their brands because we unify and only support
Can we make our own court system?
Brands.
Can we make our own court system?
So again, that's an overtime type of power to where we start getting to the voting thing. That's why a lot of our folks are trying to get our young people to vote.
That's a joke. I'm gonna be honest, that's a joke.
And it may be because it's based on time.
You know why it's a joke? Because it's 2023 and we're still talking about the first.
And we ain't voting though.
I've been voting since I was 18.
You see, and that's where we get it chopped because our feelings, and this is when we talk about the feelings.
I'm not
facts.
feelings. These are facts. But the fact is, in 2023, we're still talking about the first. This is going to be the first black woman in this. This is going to be the first.
I'm in agreement with you.
This is the first. It was 2023. Why are we still talking about the first?
I'm in agreement with you.
That's a problem.
Because we're not unifying and utilizing our leverage as a whole, and really hurting.
Plain and simple. Do we have the power to do? Do we have the power to do to Kyrie what they did?
In a league of our own, yes.
No. Right now. Fuck the league of our own right now, because that's the
like the answer is question.
Do we have the power? Do we have the power to do what Kyrie?
Right now.
No, right now.
The question is
answer the question.
Mark.
That's a serious
question.
The
question is
so how can we have the
question is being answered because we're basically saying that black people are not racist because we're not forming together and creating.
When I think of racism, I think of a level of hate that comes behind racism.
It's not hate.
It's not hate based.
It's not hate.
It's not hate based. It's power based.
It's power based.
You're making the point of what me and him started to get to argument.
It's not
about.
hatred.
When he said he started his opening, he said, "I want you to use a better word." The basis on why I should use a better word, he's not accepting that if black folk were racist, we wouldn't do it from a heinous standpoint. That's what I'm talking about.
We would do it from an opportunist
I didn't agree with the word. One mic. I didn't agree with the word because you tried to attach a positive. You tried to say there was other than a negative connotation connected to racism.
There's not.
That's the only thing I think of when I think of racism is negative. And you try to attach, that's only if you look at it that way. And I don't
believe that we got to give it that power. What is so wrong and naive to that I believe we can go ahead and change even what the word means.
What the word means? That's simple.
Yes, because that's what happened to us. See, like I feel like a lot of this conversation stems from we don't know the sub levels. Like right now, these viewers are seeing what's on this table and can't see what's underneath. Mm-hmm. They don't see what sneaks niggas is wearing. They don't know the baseline. And my point is, until we start going deeper, I'm talking about Black Law's Dictionary, reading what the inception of black and white comes from.
You're not understanding where we're coming from. Like I said, racism was never placed because of hatred. If it was,
you know why we're not unified?
If it was pure hatred, then they would try to exterminate us. Yeah. And they will never.
They tried, dummy.
No, they have not. When?
What do you mean? How many black people died during slavery?
How was this country built? What? Why would they exterminate the people who are building an empire?
Because they looked at us as cattle.
No, but talking about? No, there was extermination.
Fuck you talking about?
But it was extermination in the brain.
No.
That's why this.
Hold on, because like you said, you're not seeing under the table.
It was
because
not for the same people as a whole.
No,
it was extermination by example.
No,
it was extermination by example to control
to get in your brain.
Fear,
and you won't even
question fear and a group of people that we need.
Now let's go back.
We don't respect you
because we're going to go right back.
We don't respect you, but
let me finish.
We do respect you. But we don't respect you.
We know what you're capable of.
But
we know what you're capable of. But we don't respect you.
Hold up, Blade, because this is going to go back to the first topic. What's more powerful, physical or emotional?
Yeah, they know that.
So
they attacked our emotion.
They attacked our what? Our brain, right?
Our emotion.
Our brain.
Your brain thinks about what you feel.
Yeah. So therefore, you just sat here and said that you can't sit at one say and say emotions are more powerful than physical, and then in the same breath say like,
and now I'll give you this.
And we were exterminated as far as gas chambers and everything else, just like Jews. So let's be real. These are the things that black motherfuckers don't want to be talking about. This shit's real too. The same way they were being gassed over there in Germany, they were doing that shit on American soil.
To our feelings today,
hundreds of thousands of black people were killed. That's extermination. What the hell are we talking about?
So that we would argue amongst each other.
Racism.
That's racism.
We're not arguing.
That was not extermination. They were the intention.
That's
was
genocide. That's a whole different word.
Why? Because they feel like their race was over ours. They felt like their race was more dominant.
It wasn't about a feeling. It was about the race to become a superior race. That's what it is. This thing is a race.
That's what racism is.
Yeah,
it's the
race to be superior.
Dr. Claude Anderson explains that. One of his first things he talks about when he talks about racism and people not understanding what racism is.
We're losing
the race. And the race is not over.
No, it's not, bro.
It's nowhere near over.
That's not the topic. The topic is, can black people be racist?
No.
And I'm telling you.
And why and I'm going to go back to, no.
Blade is giving you examples of how we could be racist.
Could? Yes. Anything's possible.
And that's what
that's what y'all going off of. Y'all going off is the possibility there. Is there the percentage? What's the possibility of him making this shot? Y'all saying, oh, because there's a percentage that is possible. I'm asking currently, do you know any racist black motherfuckers, dog? No. Or do you know racist white people?
Yes.
You know racist black people?
Yes,
we do. We know black folk that are racist.
I don't.
We can't be on here just shouting names, but we do.
I don't.
How? What power do they have?
Listen,
what systematic powers back in their ideas and their beliefs?
The problem again. No, the problem again.
I'm not.
Is that we don't recognize our power first. I started with that in the beginning. I'm gonna tell y'all this again, and then
we're a group of. Hold up, let me just get one thing off my chest, because we're a group of lost culture, and you're expecting that to be unified. How do you unify a lost culture? See, this is the part that people don't pick up on. No, there is no basis, because what are we fucking basing on?
The bottom level.
What level?
If we're only talking about light skin versus dark skin on memes on Instagram,
we're not.
We ain't never gonna be unified.
We're not talking about light skin, dark skin, nothing. No, we're not. Right now, we're not talking about light skin, dark skin shit.
We just did it last year.
I'm talking right now.
We have been mind.
What do you mean?
We have been mind fucked so bad that we don't even understand that.
This goes back into nationality and races, G's.
Folks comes amongst black folks
in our own circles. And I'm going to tell you what, this is what I was getting at before. They attacked our emotion to where now we started labeling, and this is crazy. Me and Mark did this one in our argument. His racism was worse than my racism. My racism is worse than his racism. They got us right there. So that they can tell you that your pain is worse than his pain.
What's your ethnicity?
My ethnicity?
Yes.
My ethnicity in retrospect to my colorism you're getting
No,
at?
I'm asking what's your ethnicity.
So when I go and I place my ethnicity, I say other.
So what are you?
I say other. And the reason being is my bloodline is from the western coast of Africa.
Okay.
Doing my DNA, I now know that. But my Hispanic background is Taino Indians that were mixed with conquistadors and German settlers that came to Spain. To Puerto Rico.
Got you.
So now I know who I am, and I no longer aspire to black. So when I go and I list on the census,
do you understand what it took for you to get that?
What I'm trying to get here.
Listen, because I know what I am. I'm Moroccan.
Right.
And
we had this
conversation. No, like, I know what I am.
No doubt.
But that was something I had to discover. That wasn't taught down. That wasn't a tradition that was passed down. That was something that I had to discover. Whereas other races are being taught this. This is they're Irish from birth. They're Italian from birth.
Other nationalities and ethnicities, you mean?
Yes. So they know what their nationality is.
Because there's only one race.
No, they know what their nationality is. So therefore, they can come together. That's why they have communities of Jewish, of Italians, of Irish. You see what I'm saying?
And we don't want to do that.
We can't. We don't know what the fuck we are. Do you not get? No, we don't.
But when these deep combos happen, everybody be like this. Like the young boy said in the barbershop. He said, can somebody stop him? I don't want to talk about this. There be grown men that'll come to the barbershop and be like, oh, these niggas, here they go.
Listen, though.
I don't even want to talk about this.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point.
That's the point.
Me and you did our research. We actually went and paid to find out what the fuck we are.
Right.
What I'm telling you is pale-faced people don't have to do that.
To a
They're
degree.
being taught that in the home. They know what the fuck they come from.
That's to a degree.
So how can we come together if we don't know where the fuck we come from?
Well, you're saying
you just
that-
said you came from the Western Coast.
Yeah.
I come from Morocco's on the Western Coast.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that
No,
I
but-
have a peer group of white folk as
Yeah,
well
but
that
listen
don't
to
know
what
who the
I'm-
hell they
listen
are
to-
either.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. You come from the Western Coast. Morocco's on the Western Coast.
Right.
We could literally be
northern.
We could northern what? Northwest.
Yes.
Northwestern coast. We can literally be tribal enemies and never know it.
Listen,
Or we could be tribal.
Fuck all that. Fuck
That's
all
the
that.
thing. We don't know ourselves, bro.
No. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Where we originally from. Let's just take America right now.
Right.
Motherfuckers knows who ethnicity is African American. We know African Americans. Fuck all that where we came from. We know you have some African American in you. You African American. You African American. I'm African American. We know African American.
But there's no pride in that.
If we wanted
You feel
to
what I'm
come
saying?
together as
none.
There's no pride. There's no pride.
Americans.
in
Identity.
There's no. So there's no
no
pride.
identity, yeah.
So this goes back to what Jesus was saying. If I have no if I have no identity, I have no pride. I have no power.
I go with what
You
they
feel what
label
I'm
me
saying?
as.
But listen to what I'm saying.
Do you hear that?
Yeah. But listen. Whereas Italians come with pride, Irish come with pride, Jewish come with pride because they know themselves.
Yeah.
We have multiple.
Why
black
don't
people-
you come with pride? I come with pride as an African American.
we all know I come with pride. That's one thing I don't miss.
When it meets on the joint, whether it says black,
You're
or it
missing the
says
whole
I'm
point. You're
African
missing the whole
American,
point, bro.
I check
get
that
you.
You're
box
missing the whole point.
proudly.
You're missing the whole
I think that's
point.
what tends to happen during this topic.
You're
though,
missing
because
the whole
topic
point, bro.
is,
Like-
can black people be racist? And we talked about racism. You already talked about racism being backed by power, and you agree with.
We
hold
have
on,
the power
before-
to be
hold on.
racist. That's what I'm saying. Even as so-called labeled blacks in America, we have power.
We don't believe it though.
Anything. Y'all sound like Kevin Garnett.
Yo, we empower.
It's Kevin Garnett.
Yo,
Anything is possible.
Yo,
ass
do we
niggas.
not empower?
That's all they're going
No,
off
no,
of. They're
don't
only
we
going off
empower
of.
all these
Don't
other
rule out the.
facts,
They're ruling
man.
out the.
That's
They don't want to rule out the
conversation's not going there.
possibility.
Yeah.
There's
They're
a
ruling out
reason.
the possibility.
There's a reason
Is it
why
possible?
the
Well,
Jewish
yes.
dollar is spent 18 to 21 times before it leaves their community.
That's what we don't
because
realize. We
they
empower
embark
those other
in their
races, but not our
buying
own.
power and their spending power.
So
Yo.
we're now.
How long
let's go.
does it?
Shut
How
the
long
fuck
does
up.
your
Let me
dollar
talk,
last
bro.
before it leaves the community?
If you let me talk, we're
Come on.
going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that because
Go ahead.
this went back to where you're saying that blacks have the most buying power, this, that, and the third.
Yes. Because
This
you don't
even-
believe it. That's why you're joking
I
about
don't.
it like
no,
that.
no. I 100%
Okay,
believe it
okay.
because black people are consumers
Yes.
and they have a consumer mindset,
Yes, come on.
and that's a problem.
Yes.
But this also goes back to not knowing themselves because Nigerians don't do that.
Right.
Nigerians don't do that. When they come, that black money gets rotated how many times before it leaves their black community?
Yeah.
But they know who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
And y'all keep missing the fact that majority of these black motherfuckers don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
Oh, you're black. No, I'm not fucking black. You just said we're not black.
Yeah.
So if I can't identify my ethnicity, how the fuck do I know who I am? How do I know the
What
group?
did I say to dispute that? I'm with you there.
But this
But
is not
we're
just
not
us.
starting there.
But this is everyone.
We
This is what I'm
left
saying.
for that
No
black.
one's starting there. No one's starting there. That's the
question
problem.
was, can black people
No
be
one's starting
racist?
that people
and
that
yes,
look like
we,
us never start
any
there.
group
You know what
of
I'm
people
saying?
can be racist.
Whereas you'll get someone that is of other ethnicities where it's a prideful thing to know their history.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a pride behind that. And that's the part that motherfuckers want to keep skipping over.
But what the fuck are you saying? Not all white people are racist.
Did I say that? Was that
I
ever?
don't think
What
that-
I'm saying is, no, the question was, can black people be racist?
No,
And
but they could be prejudiced as
the
fuck.
question wasn't, are
can.
black people racist? It said, can black people be racist?
No.
Yes, black people
They
can
can be
be
prejudiced
racist.
as fuck, though.
Listen. On this tip, I won't say another thing, man. I hope nobody cuts me off on this one. I don't think we give power enough to the fact that on the tip of racism, based on the definitions that are facts and the definitions that are what we perceive, we don't realize that we do the opposite of that racial power. So we, again, and let's go fact-based, just so that everybody ain't out here questioning, we made one French man the richest man on earth damn near overnight. When the pandemic happened from 19 to now, right? We went ahead and got all this bread from the stimulus and all these checks, and some dudes was getting 25 bands on average. Some were getting 100, whatever have you. Do you know that this man became the richest man overnight by the black American dollar consumer base? Overnight, by owning Prada, Louis, Fendi,
That's
Versace.
nothing more than financial literacy.
But my point though is, and here goes the point. Here goes the point though. Whether it's for financial literacy or not, it's the baseline of not knowing and identifying with who you are. So in the reverse, we're supporting a whole nother race and not realizing that we are, and what I'm talking about, it may be the most negative definition. We're being racist for someone else. We'll support a whole nother race.
It's sad because what he's saying is finally when the pandemic hit and all those PUAs and people were getting all this extra money, KOP, when I would ride by there.
Y'all are ignorant as fuck.
I agree.
No, y'all are ignorant. Y'all are ignorant.
No, I ain't gonna lie. You're ignorant because you don't understand our fucking buying power.
Fucking
You don't understand
Do
our
you know
buying
why
power.
black people act like that, dickhead?
Speak your mind.
Do you know why black people go and spend their money like that, dickhead?
Why?
Because we've been programmed to do so. Why? Because of racism. Institutional.
Bro, the information is out here for what we need to do.
Look, I'm done.
If me and Blade retain the information and understand it, we don't always apply it. But if we understand that it's out here, it's not.
Take a bathroom break, come back.
It's not like the information's not out here. I've watched videos from Dr. Claude Anderson and people who are explaining this to us. Like he said,
we're individualizing
black people
again,
need
though.
to buy politicians.
He's individualizing himself for the whole black race. This is where we came back to me, where I was trying to No, it's not individualizing, but like this is what it is. There's information out there.
You're right.
The information been out there.
And this is where you're right, because when the system of racism hits, we're not learning these things as for what's best for black people. Yeah. Our kids are not educated on this. There's none of this. Our history is not taught in school. Not the history that they want us to know about ourselves.
If racism ain't real, why is there such a battle with CRT?
Because of individualism. You mentioned a heavy word. Mm-hmm. This thing is an individualism problem.
Right.
People are not waking up every single day of the week from Monday back on to Sunday and back on Monday and saying, I got to figure out how to do better. They're adhering to the systems that were set in place. So when we say brainwash, you might be brainwashed. We might have generation after generation of workers and consumers.
Absolutely.
But there gotta be a day where individualism takes place, and we say, I do have a choice. I'm gonna go here real quick. My pop, he dealt with a certain addiction throughout his life.
Right.
And I used to argue with my dad day after day, all the time, right? Until it brought me to tears. And I would say, Pop, you have a choice, my guy. You have a choice. And he'd be like, you don't know what it's like to have that monkey on your back. You don't understand. You don't know what it's like. Pop, you got a choice.
Right.
No, you don't understand. You don't know what it's like because you don't got that going on and you don't know. He would be mad, angry with me to where we would almost get to rumbling.
Right.
Until my dad got out of that addiction, until he was able to overcome the addiction, did he come to me and say, you know what, son? I used to fight you all the time. I used to argue with you all the time about me not having a choice. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm out of it, I had a choice the whole time. What I chose every day was to be part of that addiction. Mm-hmm. I'm telling us that as a people, we have the first individual problem. Buck chose to open that book. Tone chose to open that book. Chef Star chose to open that book. Mark chose to open this book and this literature and say, I want to know more. Because I already know they're lying to me. I already know there's a problem.
Hold on. Before you go, G's, let me just get this off. Because this is the differentiator between us and them. It's a choice for us. It's not a choice for them. It's ingrained in them. And this is the part that motherfuckers want to keep skipping. It's ingrained in them. You feel what I'm saying? Like Indians, all that. It's ingrained in them, bro.
I'm listening.
Like, let's be real. Indians is ingrained in them, motherfucker. There's certain cultural expectations from them. Yeah. It's ingrained in them.
It's a way different culture.
We don't have a fucking culture. So how the fuck can we unite with no culture?
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go against what you're saying too, and I think the problem is what y'all are using to justify why we are not, I guess, tapping into our power. Y'all are being ignorant because y'all are not realizing that a lot of the reasons why we haven't tapped into that power was because, all right, so we talk about the 80s, 70s, 80s when black people were trying to establish their own shit. People were getting burned down. They were getting bombed. People were coming in their cribs, getting murdered. So you talking about there weren't no genocide? Get the fuck out of here. Bro, they never ever once wanted us to ever tap into that power.
No, they will definitely
So
exterminate.
They will exterminate. They
Yeah.
don't want us to tap into that power. So all the reasons.
What you think happened to Fred Hammond?
Hold on. All the reasons y'all are saying why, or the spending dollar and this. So what about the times they're ripping black people fathers from the homes and the crack epidemics and all this other shit that was systematic racism that y'all assholes are being ignorant towards, but y'all are saying this is the reason why black people ain't doing this because of this and that, bro.
At some point,
it's
we
systematic.
gotta
When I
still
talk about the power, it's power.
At some point, we still got to come together and
all
fight.
right, next topic, man. I'm done, bro. I don't want to talk about.
We can listen. What's done is what's done.
Nah,
we can cry over spoiled milk all night.
The way you felt last week is how I feel.
We can cry over.
I don't like this topic.
I don't like this topic no more.
Gotta make a choice.
We can cry over spoiled milk
but
for
that's
50
going
years.
off topic.
That's not going to change nothing.
Nah, just make a choice.
It's not going to change nothing.
That has nothing to do with black people being racist.
Nah, dog.
I beg to differ.
Us
Do
making a
you
choice
understand what I'm saying,
is not
Blade?
going to make
Blade, do
me
you
be racist.
Blade, do you understand what I'm saying when I say we can continue to cry over spoiled milk?
Or make something happen.
That's still not changing the fact that the question.
Look, I don't like this question no more.
I don't like this question no more. I'm cool.
What's the next topic?
It's good stuff, man.
I mean,
disagreement is good. It don't got to be done because of
Nah, it ain't that.
Disagreement is good.
Listen, we really went deep in, and I feel like this conversation.
We need feedback.
Yo, real quick, Chef, before we so we talked about a possible segue, right, into another joint. And this is perfect because this is how you end a conversation like that.
Right.
They literally devised a plan that for 400 years and more, I give you so much pain that you will not resort to any logic, to just any facts. You will resort to your spiritually tied pain.
Bro, they don't even teach Black History Month
as your choice.
We don't have
so
no,
now. So we're hurt so bad. We're hurt so bad that our feelings take precedence. And I'm gonna tell you this: Buck asked, "Where are we unified at? Where are we at a number one people?" Here's the problem: the one place we all connect is spiritually, more than them. We connect spiritually, even if niggas ain't on some I'm Islam and I'm this and that. I'm talking about spiritually. Mm-hmm. And so in our spirit, they have attacked us.
Yeah, but
they got us believing that we're less than.
But they've also distracted you that you not. So most people
and that's
aren't.
A choice.
That's not. But they've also designed because they have the power. I'm gonna always revert back to the power. Whether it's television, whether it's movies, whether it's Hollywood, no matter what the fuck it is, whether it's the police, they have the power to dictate, to manipulate your mind, to distract you.
You're not lying. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson spoke about. When you
it's racism, when you backed by power.
When
that's
you
all
can,
I'm talking
that's
about.
what, and all he was saying is for black people to raise out of that, we have to get our own TV networks, which is going to be difficult.
That don't mean we're racist.
That don't mean it's not. But listen, I'm not saying we're racist. I'm saying could we do things that could stem to racism? Yes, we could. Who's going? That would be a war. At the end of the day, will we win it? That's to be determined.
Feelings.
But
if
we were to unite and begin that war, that doesn't mean we're coming out guns blazing, literally with guns.
No, proxy war.
But if we began a war and said, I'm no longer spending dollars with such and such. I don't care if I got to grow my own plant.
This is happening right now with other nations
racism,
against us.
Bro. That's not racism.
Yes,
that's
it
prejudice.
is.
That's
no,
prejudice,
it's
bro.
racism because you're doing.
That's why I went back to
you're
the topic.
doing
So hold
use
on.
a different
So
word.
because
you're racist.
Hold on. No, the fuck. That's not racism. Because you become self-reliant makes
That's
you racist.
what I told her. Use a different word.
Makes you racist if I only going to spend money with black
That
people.
doesn't mean you're fucking racist.
Yes, it does. Because I'm trying to build up the black race.
So with that
we
thought,
can get TV. Because
that don't mean I hate white people. That don't mean I think you're less.
So
based
what
on
you
your
keep
skin
talking
color.
about hate.
That's what racism
No,
is.
it's not.
I'm
no,
done,
it's not
bro.
even. Don't even go there.
I'm
But
done.
no. Hold on. But
It's
even with
not that.
let me talk.
Viewers wanna
That's
see it.
prejudice.
Shut the fuck up. With that thought being said, you're saying that being racist is spending your money with your own kind.
Wow.
How many ethnicities do that? Chinese spend with their own kind. Jewish spend with their own kind.
Right.
Irish spend with their own kind. Indians
spend with their own kind.
So all of them are racist? Are we
Yes.
calling all of them racist?
Yes.
I'm waiting to answer. Am I able to answer? Because I know you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm just asking because
It makes them a supremacist.
Off your man, he's saying he's So
Now they're
becoming
supremacists.
self-reliant.
Y'all
Now they're
not
fucking
y'all not understanding the fucking big
I'm
picture.
done, bro. You're yelling. I'm done, bro. I'm done. Cut this shit off. Fuck this shit.
Wow,
dog.
I thought this was a good joke.
Economics is maybe the main part
Not when
of
Steph starts yelling
racism.
like this. I
You
don't
can
like
get
the
your
part
point
two.
across. Let's keep it calm and cool. It's a
You
good
gonna yell? I
joke.
don't like.
I'm cool.
It's a good
I
joke.
don't like
Because you're not understanding the importance of
Y'all niggas is
economics
ignorant as
in the
fuck,
race
bro.
war.
Y'all niggas
In
is
the race
ignorant,
war,
man.
you're not understanding the importance of economics.
No, I understand that.
You're not
think they do.
understanding them.
But I don't think I don't think being
we're on
self-reliant
two
makes you
different
racist.
topics, to be honest
I don't
with
think being self-reliant makes you racist. I don't think that the Jewish community is racist because they keep their money. You just said they spend their money 13-fold before it leaves their community. Right. I don't think that makes them racist. I think that makes them smart.
But they want to make their selves supreme.
That makes
correct?
them no. They just want to keep their money inside their community.
No,
they want to
yeah,
build
why?
because they have
Why?
small businesses inside their community
Why?
that they want to feed
Why?
into.
We gotta stop yelling, man. I don't
That's
think
why.
they can even hear
That's
us.
why. Simple. It's simple.
All right,
It's very
we
simple.
about to shut this
No,
down
listen.
tonight.
Just
Yeah,
listen.
I'm cool with
No,
that.
hold on. But I
that.
just want to get
It's a
this.
Shut it down. No, I'm cool with
If
that.
we had, just like you said, if the Jewish community, it's not racist, it's self-reliance.
No.
If
You're not understanding
if
the
Blade was
purpose of-
Jewish and the only barber that we went to was Blade because he was Jewish, doesn't make me racist. It means that I want to keep my money inside my community.
No,
Just like you just said.
and in turn, it makes you racist because you
So
want
racism. Hold on.
you want to build economic.
Racism is the oppression. Racism is the oppression. Keyword.
Oppression.
Keyword. That's the only word that you need to even really understand. If you don't understand what oppression means, then you're really an asshole and you're ignorant. It's the oppression of another race by one of another. So it's because black people spending money with black doesn't mean I don't want to fuck with you white people because you're white. No, I wanted to send this. I'm not trying to oppress and make you go out of business. I don't want to see your shit to fail. I don't want to see you in jail. I don't want to see you dead. No, I just want to see my black brother doing well too.
No.
That's not racism.
And you're missing the purpose because if I'm going to spend money, if we're going to do this and we're going to do this, I'm doing this to strengthen our race economically and weaken the.
But you're
other
not
races.
oppressed.
No, see, no, but
That's why they spend
personal
money
thought.
with. That's
No,
why
that's your personal
That's
thought.
why they spend money within their community to strengthen their race economically.
And the
to,
moment-
to
Power.
build power.
For power.
No, but the moment
leverage.
But this is where it goes different.
So they can.
This is
so
where it
they
goes
have
different.
economic
Hold up,
power
Chef.
to be able to put
right.
other things into place.
Just because he's loud doesn't make him fucking right.
Power,
That's
though.
all he
Just because
does.
he's
I'm
loud
saying
doesn't
power.
make him right.
All that's-
Because the
all I'm
moment
saying
that he
is
went
power.
left is because he says, "No, I want to build up my community and see the downfall of others." He just said he doesn't want to see the downfall. The downfall portion is when it becomes prejudice. Because
Racism.
I want to see the downfall. I don't want to see you downfall.
wanna
I just
oppress
want to see
another race.
I
That's
just
when
want to
it's
see the
racism.
uplifting of mine. I want to see the uplifting of mine.
So y'all saying black people spending money?
The intent's not there. The intent is for the uplifting of my people.
So is it going to happen though? If I'm at the top, what's going to happen to the rest of the people?
Y'all
What do you
niggas
mean?
is ignorant.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
No, but outside of
is
ignorance.
My
These are just
my
common questions.
no,
Buck,
my
I'm
intent
not
has
yelling
nothing
no more,
to do.
Buck,
My
Buck,
intent has
listen
nothing
to
to
me.
do
Let
with
me-
any
let me
other
ask
race.
you this.
You
Buck,
feel
let
what
me
I'm-
ask you
My
this.
intent has zero to do
Buck,
with any
Buck,
other
Buck,
race
Buck.
except uplifting mine.
But
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Well, what happens to the rest though?
It doesn't matter. I'm not thinking about
When
the
you
rest.
up-
The moment I start thinking about the rest is when I become prejudiced. The moment where I'm like, I'm taking my money from you, white man, and giving it to. That's not how I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is, I see a young black man that wants to be prosperous. I want to get ahead and feed into that. Not that I want to feed in that and take away. No.
So Buck thinks
that's
like that.
No, that's malice.
Do you think
that's
other
the part,
people don't?
hey, Buck.
What do you
hey,
mean?
Buck,
The malice intent behind it is
Buck,
what
can
makes
I-
it
can I
prejudice
just
and
speak
or
off
racist,
what you said?
bro.
1 second, Buck. Listen.
I like that. I
Listen,
like that.
I get what you're saying, but you fail to realize is right. That's just the base level. We're going to spend money amongst each other. Then what comes next?
The element of the critical element of differentiating racism from prejudice is, what would you think? It's backed by one thing. The differentiator between racism and prejudice is backed by one thing. What do you think that is?
Oppression.
Institutional power. That is the single key differentiator between racism and prejudice. And that's the indicator y'all assholes is failing to realize.
So in regards to that, and that's a great thing.
Institutional
What is institutional power based on what you think of that? Why are we getting so offended? I'm thinking
Nah,
we're
I
having
hear
a
what you.
good
I
conversation.
know. I hear you.
Why do I mean to understand?
I ain't never once fall out or be upset.
No, you good.
Nigga chilling here like why?
Institutional. We could go.
Why do I need to
He's been
explain what
explaining it the whole
institutional
time.
power is?
Because I want to know. Like I want to know.
We know what institutional power is.
The laws, the court system, redlining, things of that nature. He's been
Right.
speaking about it the whole time.
This whole time, y'all.
Banks,
Banks included, yes.
banks, economic areas, organizations.
No, not. See,
Y'all,
what you're trying to do is you're trying to paint with a broad brush,
No, you
bro.
said
No, you're
Yes, he is. Yes,
you're
he
getting
is.
willy nilly
Yes,
with
he
terms.
is. Yes,
You're
he
getting
is.
Not
He does that.
economics. No,
He does that.
Y'all are tripping. Y'all
What's
two
the
are
institution of
Y'all are
economics?
tripping.
Banks. So the institution, the bank is the institution.
Yes.
So that's the economic portion.
And,
not
blacks
no,
are beginning
no,
to
you're not
own
listening.
banks. I'm listening to
Listen
you.
to-
Based on
listen-
institutional
but-
power, we
yes.
are beginning to
But-
own banks.
yes.
Schools and
On scales.
education.
On
Schools
scales.
and education.
On scales.
We are beginning to own those institutions.
What's Meek Mill's song?
What?
What's Meek Mill's song? There's
I have
levels
no
to this
idea.
shit.
Come on,
There's
man.
levels to this shit.
And that's great, but that don't
There's
mean it
levels
don't
to this
exist.
Yo, it does.
Yo, because you're not at the level of fighting to a professional whatever, does that mean you can't fight? Like, I don't get it. Like, y'all just, because it's
if
at
you're-
a small
no,
scale.
listen.
we knock it
That's a
off.
perfect example.
can't
Just
knock
because
it
you're not at a level to fight doesn't mean you can fight. Yes, at that fucking level it does. Because you can fight in the hood doesn't mean you can fight Tyson. Fuck you mean? And the institutional racism is Tyson, nigga. That's what he's trying to tell you. That's what the fuck is these niggas talking about, bro?
Listen,
what the fuck
you
you
still
talking
have-
about?
I think you
can fight in the hood, nigga.
you
We
still
can
gotta fight at
Black
some point.
people
Oh
fighting in the
my God,
hood.
man.
But you ain't
you won on points.
Hey,
That was
Buck,
a great
you
argument.
ain't stepping in the ring with
Buck,
Tyson.
that was a great
Buck,
dub.
let me ask you this.
Great dub, my
in
guy.
order to be,
I'm just saying,
You
like,
can't
come
step
on,
in the
bro.
ring.
Hey, Blade.
You can't do what it
Blade.
takes to train and get a
Blade,
trainer
Blade,
that goes and
Blade.
takes you to
It's
that
all
place.
possibilities.
Blade,
Buck.
in order to-
Everything's based on
Is it
possibilities.
possible, Buck? Yes.
Blade, in order
Anything's
to beat-
possible.
We got another one that
In order
left.
to beat
Yes, man.
Tyson, what do you got to do?
I don't blame you, Buck.
Train.
Let's take a walk.
Even after all that, regardless of if you're trained properly or not, you have to fighting.
Yes, and you got to make a choice to believe that you can.
Yeah. Did Buster Douglas go in there? Buster
He made a
Douglas
choice.
went in there. He made a choice.
I'm gonna knock
Everybody
this boy
and their
out
mom
today.
said,
I can't beat him.
Tyson's gonna knock me the
I'm
fuck
in
out.
pain right now. I just lost
Buster
my
Douglas
sister.
went in there and knocked that nigga
I'm
the
in
fuck
pain.
out. And until we're ready to start taking the small steps
Choice.
and get ready to fight this systematic oppression and all this other bullshit that you keep talking about that does exist, but we act like cannot be defeated because in your mind you're defeated and you want to cry over spoiled
lost
milk.
already.
You lost.
We lost
And
already.
that's why I'm tired of hearing that bullshit, because there's small things that we can do that can lead to bigger things, and then the next thing, and then the next thing of us going for racism, building our race, pushing forward. We keep talking about what's been done to it. We know all that.
Pain.
That's all y'all want to talk about, is what's being done to us.
Pain.
You talk about the history, right? So not understanding the history. So why shouldn't we understand what has happened?
We understand
From
that.
a place of elevation.
What do
not to
you do
dwell.
next?
No, who's dwelling?
A nigga knocked you the fuck out. What do you do next? Do you
Bro,
just
I'm
lay
not-
there
I'm-
and think
I'm
about
che-
the
I'm
nigga
com-
knocking you out?
I'm
or
completely
you get the
checked out
fuck
because
back up?
you keep yelling, nigga. Like, I don't
Because
give
you're
a
not
fuck about
understanding the
that.
basics
No,
is
it's
what
because
I'm
you don't want me to
saying.
agree with you. Don't mean you're gonna keep
I
fucking
asked
yelling.
you a question.
You yelling ain't gonna make me
I
agree
just asked
with
you
you.
a question. You didn't answer. You get knocked the fuck out. What do you do next?
That sounds like a silly ass question, to be honest with you. I might shoot the
You
nigga.
get knocked the fuck out. What do you do
I
next?
don't know. I
Oh,
might
man,
pop
it's time to
him.
get in the lab and make sure that never happens again.
Or do you just go lay in the bed and cry because, man, money knocked me the
I
fuck
might
out?
cry,
No,
bro,
I'm
I
gonna
guess.
say I'm brainwashed. I'm gonna say, yo, Bull done brainwashed me, and I can never beat
Popping
him.
the nigga.
I can never
Hey,
beat him.
say, nigga, I don't fucking know.
That's one of my biggest
Man, we
fears,
gonna
getting
wrap
knocked out
this
in
up
front of one
tonight.
of my kids,
This got way
Yo,
overheated.
but I'm telling you
this
that.
got way overheated.
The reason why is because of our
because-
feelings.
No, because y'all niggas want to
y'all
everybody
trying to justify a lot
here
of
is
fuck
trying
shit,
to
man.
push their opinions on everybody else, and just because we don't agree, we're like, it's like, bro, like,
We're speaking facts.
no,
not
and
opinions.
that's why I'm done.
Who? I think. I mean, if you say the same way you say you can say you speaking facts, I feel like we speaking facts
You were speaking facts
to the point where
I
we
didn't
pulling
say-
out definitions.
I
nigga.
didn't say y'all were wrong, and I didn't say y'all weren't speaking facts. what my mindset is what we can do about it. Not about what's being done to us.
That wasn't the question.
The question was simply, can black people be racist?
And I'm saying, yes.
I mean, now if you want to parlay into a different question,
and I'm saying
that's something totally different.
But why is it negative to bring in a solution?
And me and Blade are saying
because that wasn't the question.
I mean,
yes,
irregardless, we're talking about so racism is a problem.
So we have to answer. First of all, we have to answer the question that was asked.
Yeah, and the question was disagreement. That's cool. We disagree.
So now, if we want to move on to another topic,
and we did the solution.
That wasn't never discussed.
In hand, we did.
But
you helped discuss it. You were talking about what we can do, and me and you know who we are. And what
I'm saying to you is, it was never a segue. It's just we automatically went there.
It was a beautiful segue. It just happened.
But that's me and G's still over here on racism.
Yeah, because y'all equally want us to agree that it's not cool, and that's not where it's going to go. If you want to say that, we want y'all to say that they can be racist. Why is it fair for y'all to be like, well, you got to agree with us too?
No, I'm not.
So
saying,
then
I don't think the things y'all are using to justify.
No, I don't think there was no.
I'm not justifying anything.
That's not justified.
The question was,
not even
can black people be racist? And in
it's
my
a yes
mind,
or no question.
Yes, we can.
And that from there we got
so
disagreement.
both of y'all say yes, and we say no.
And now we got what is the solution?
Now
that's
the next topic. That's the next topic.
Because it's all individual based.
Because listen, let me explain this before.
And I said that.
And can I just explain myself real clear off this? Just off that answer. By you guys saying no and us saying yes, right? What you're basically saying is we do not have the ability or power to unite. And
you're not using your active listening skills if that's what you took out.
Listen. What
you said black people can't be racist.
We about to start yelling. What
is racism?
You're still trying to twist it to where
what is racism?
He wants to agree so badly. He still wants to twist it somehow. So I'm saying we don't have the capability. We're not saying we don't have the capability. No one's saying y'all are going off.
That's what makes it a no argument.
This is why I said y'all are on some Kevin Durant shit. Anything's possible. Because y'all are going off the fact that anything is possible. That's all y'all are going off of right now.
I don't know why that's so wrong. I don't know why that's so boneheaded. I don't get why that's so boneheaded.
Is possible.
Yes, I live that life. I get why that's so boneheaded.
Defy the odds. Like this is the first time in history this has been done, and the odds weren't defied. Blade, you realize that? Blade, you realize that these things have happened to our people.
For centuries.
For a century.
Almost a millennia.
And you realize we've defied the odds how many times?
Yeah, way longer.
How many times? This isn't the first time we've been enslaved.
Bro, they don't even like teaching black history, bro in schools.
But this is the thing. Right. He's speaking to exactly what we're talking about.
Facts.
Every time there is an uplifting of black folks, anytime there's an uplifting or growth of black folks, all of our leaders are killed. Fred Hammond, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Like, the list goes on, bro.
By who?
But like this,
by the government. The government's suing for Mount.
It's not even like that, and it's to the point where it's really FBI agency. Like this isn't like just some random motherfucker killing. Like this is systematic killings.
So Black the next Panthers. Thing I'm gonna say.
What do you think happened to the Black Panthers? Was that systematic?
The next thing I'm gonna say is gonna be upsetting, and now somebody's gonna walk away because this is how this works.
But hold on. Let me get this one thing out. Let me get one thing out.
Who were they done by?
What do you mean?
Who were the assassinations done by? So I don't know if you guys have recently read that Malcolm X's murderer was found.
Black man.
So the point is, we can't just discredit that.
No, but I need you to understand. That's just like you. No, shut the fuck up for 5 fucking seconds, bro. God damn.
Go ahead, because we
because what this goes back to is with that young man that was just killed by those 5 black cops.
Yes.
So is that what you're saying? Is that race based or is that systematic based from what they were taught in the institution of policing?
Yes, I agree with you.
So what the fuck? Color has nothing to do with that. The color was blue. Not black nor white.
And here's the thing, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
What did I started with in the beginning of this?
None of that. That's
I started this in the beginning. And so now you're saying that we didn't go nowhere. We didn't have a good discussion, and we did. The inception of this discussion
I was here with you.
Was about colorism being false. Yo, the black don't matter. It is about what you said, us realizing who we are, that this light skin, dark skin thing don't matter, that until we get to under the table, biblically from 12 tribes, then move on to like where did they disperse and whose bloodline is what, and that your nationality is not who you are. Until we start learning those things, then we can get into what racism is and who's oppressed and this and that. But we can't even get included on those things. When we do, it'll be a solution. And so we're not saying anything different. I'm not arguing with you with that.
No, but it comes back to the same conversation. Whereas, where's the black FBI?
We have not created anything.
So there's no institution. So then yet again, it comes back to how can black people be racist?
No, in that regard, as far as FBI, we have created a lot of things to where we can. It's not anything has to do with intent. Anything. So if my intent is good, it changes the connotation of what the exact word is. That's how in our slang is comprised of different words meaning different things in our own culture. Mm-hmm. But now all of a sudden racism can't be, I ain't gonna lie, like my racism is different. We can't utilize that way.
I think you're trying to lump prejudice and racism into one word.
But even from a standpoint of oppression, take oppression and skew it. We're able to do that. I'm sorry that I live in this perfect dream world, but the oppression means that, I can even change that. In order for me to get up, I gotta what? Oppress this couch. I'm sorry that the people that are aside from me end up going down. My oppression and my intent to do so was not ill-advised. That's just like slavery. We as a people, let's say me and Buck back in the day, and we realized who we were. Buck is a chocolate brother. I'm, supposed to be some little albino Prince bull, right? Mm-hmm. Baseline is me and you agreed with each other. We knew who we were. We were both from Morocco. Mm-hmm. We owned slaves. And those slaves, from our intent, we knew what it was. They were indentured servants. They were individuals that couldn't afford to live on land. So we enslaved them.
A little different.
So now these people come and they change slavery. They even changed it in our mental of what the word means to where I don't even want to hear slavery. That's a derogatory term. No, not how we created it, because we created everything. So if we created everything as a people, why can we not bring it back to full circle what it used to be? Oppression wasn't that. Racism wasn't that. Supremacy wasn't that. It was about us going ahead and uplifting our people.
That's why we can't do it. We don't have the power.
We do. It's a choice every day.
We don't have the power. We don't have the institutional power.
That's how
let's just wrap this shit, bro. Deadass, I'm done.
We might not currently have the institutional power.
I'm done.
We have the personal power.
But there's things that we can do
personally.
Gain that.
I'm checked out, bro.
We can.
Let's just wrap it up.
Every day.
And that's the problem. Nobody wants to talk about where do we move forward from here, because we feel like we're so far behind that we're defeated.
No.
You're defeated.
Not Buck. Not Buck. Not Mark, not Tone, but our people as a whole. We do believe that.
Bro, I am checked out. I'm done.
You're defeated.
I'm done.
I'm
done.
We can't even have the combo.
No,
We're defeated.
I have a conversation. No, let me get this off real quick, because I think it's very disingenuous that you assume after 250 years of slavery, after an additional 60 years of Jim Crow, after the crack epidemic, that we expect that this shit was going to change.
This has happened.
Shut the fuck
in every civilization.
Hold on, go ahead, because I like where you're going. I like where you're going.
That we expect change and overnight, and it's not going to happen.
I don't expect that. I think you're saying disingenuous, but you're assuming that that's what I'm saying.
Hey, Buck.
That's what your man's
saying. I don't believe that.
No, let me speak for what I'm saying, Buck. This has happened in every civilization in the history of the world. When one group of people or ethnicity of people rose up, others were oppressed.
With a different intent.
That's just naturally how things happen. Am I lying?
It's a fact, man. Somebody gotta be the leader and somebody gotta be down.
Those are the facts of life. This isn't the first time our people were oppressed in American slavery and Jim Crow. This is not nothing new. And we can rise above this. The scales tip and turn.
My thing is, when do we ever have the power to do any of that? Because that's what we're saying. We're saying that races, because we just read the definition.
We had it many a times.
So we had the power to do this to other races?
Yeah, we had it. We had it biblically. What you just said. You talked about way back before then.
Yes.
Then we had it in a place that you named.
We're talking about the American soil.
We talked about it when you named Black Wall Street.
You're talking
and Black Wall Street wasn't the only spot. Central Park was a thriving neighborhood. We talk about other areas. So now,
what happened to every empire that ruled the world?
Buck, here's the thing. Those weren't economic. Those weren't economic destructions. You do know that. They were not economic destructions. They were flat out destroyed, obliterated. That's when you can't even go to your business now and get any money. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do when your whole area is just burned. Bro, so when we talk about what took place and what happened, Buck, you're extremely right. But it wasn't because of power. They came in there and bombed the area, sneak and covert.
It wasn't because of racism. It was because of racism.
And I get that. But in an area where everything was up for grabs and we lost.
What was up for grabs?
The superiority,
bro. Wrap this shit.
Superiority was never up for grabs.
Why do we keep saying wrap it up?
Superiority was never up for grabs. Superiority was never up for grabs in this country.
Yo, y'all are tripping.
No, we're not. The fact that we tripping, then let's just wrap this shit up then. Nigga, I asked y'all 5 times to wrap this bullshit y'all saying.
Dollar boys!
Take me out.
This is crazy.